that's when I realized that fitness was going to be a part of my life. Unconsciously, I was burning myself out. It's because everyone is on their journey of getting hit by realizations. When someone is really lost, the only reason they feel lost, when we see heroes, we are seeing only the good parts. No one is seeing the uncomfortable emotions that they had to face, the training they had to go through, how many times they had to fall. Now an average person just holding a phone has become a content creator. So everyone wants to be seen. If they are not asking you questions about what you want or where you are, then that's the first red flag. The first foundation skills that you need to build for a long-lasting fitness journey. I'm going to share one big fact about my fitness life, which is, and I'm like, it doesn't matter if it is under your calorie count or not, it's causing inflammation.
My next guest on today's podcast is Urmi Kothari. Urmi is a founder of a company called Kinetic Living, which is focused on health and overall energy being of you and for all of us. Urmi has been in the health industry for over 2 decades and her experience in health is just profound. I personally have attended few of her programs and it's amazing to see her energy and see how she treats your body through the entire process of fitness. She's also a Nike elevated trainer and has featured in many premium platforms like TEDx, Apple, Nike, and many other platforms. So if you want to get fitter and want to understand her journey on fitness, then do listen to this podcast. Hey Urmi, welcome to Masters Decoded Podcast Season 3. Really glad to have you on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, I was looking forward to it. It's timely. You and I are going to be in a nice retreat for the next 3 days. So it's timely to meet people who are going to be at the retreat. Before we get started, do you want to quickly introduce to the audience who you are, what you do, and what you focus on?
Yeah, sure. So, hi, my name is Urmi Kothari and I'm an energy coach as well as a fitness expert. I'm the founder of Kinetic Living, which is not just a training philosophy, but it used to be a studio before. Now it is also available in the form of pre-recorded workouts, programs, and it is a way of looking at your entire life and how to integrate fitness and wellness into your life as per your life phase, as per your temperament, your personality, and most of all, what your body needs rather than what your mind is telling you that you want. And I use 5 to 6 different disciplines such as body weight strength training, functional training using kettlebells, dumbbells, Pilates, yoga, animal flow, as well as a lot of prehab exercises which are meant to prevent injuries and improve posture, to get people to become physically not just fit from the outside, but really connect with their body. That improves neuromuscular coordination, that improves balance and self-awareness. So as a coach and so I also have a team of coaches. We work with individuals, we work with groups, and now I'm doing retreats as well, where I'm really combining how to maximize your physical energy and keep working on your mental and emotional energy, which automatically supports your consistency in fitness and how you show up for your workouts, not from a place of I hate my body, but from a place of I'm taking care of it and I'm in charge. I take responsibility because I love my body. And lastly, to just bust this myth that self-love is just about being gentle with yourself or being always giving the benefit of the doubt. But while doing that, it should lead you to come back to self-responsibility. So it's like a tough love.
Yeah, it is. And I've been learning that lesson interestingly over the course of last 6 to 9 months. Personally, I've been on this health journey over the last 12 years now. I had a minor scare, not a minor, but a major scare of a heart attack.
Oh, okay.
I was traveling, I was in the US and I started sweating profusely just out of nowhere. It was winter like proper New York winter. I was in New York and I started profusely sweating. Didn't know what was going on, was a little bit dazed out as well. Didn't do anything there, came back in India, did all the tests, and the doctor said, we don't know because it's too late to figure out whether you got it or not. It was a wake-up call, interestingly, and helped me get back to saying, hey, you need to respect this outer shell.
Yeah.
Right? The inner shell is there, but this outer shell is important. So I've been on the journey and had my own ups and downs, and I'll try to talk about them as through this conversation. But like me, I had that wake-up call. What was your wake-up call? What got you to all of this?
Honestly, for me, the wake-up call was more about respecting my body and in fact not working out too much. So I've been into fitness now for 25 years. This is my 26th year, and I started out playing basketball, and that 2 hours in the day would give me so much of mental focus in my studies that it became a part of me from the age of 11. As I moved forward, I went into gymming, I went swimming, hiking, practically tried every sport in school except football. And that's when I realized that fitness was going to be a part of my life. Moving on to doing my MBA, doing my advertising, I kept on keeping like fitness as a center of my personal life. Which then ultimately led to me quitting my job and then went into dancing and martial arts. So, and then I made this journey into kinetic living in 2012. And that's when fitness, my passion, became my profession, which led me to get so much of my self-identity from fitness that I didn't realize that in 2019, after 7-8 years of working as a coach and honing my fitness skills myself, I realized I was not only training, but I was also using my body in my profession, which sort of unconsciously I was burning myself out. So for me, the wake-up call came in 2019 where I realized that I am doing too much, where I sat down and said, let me figure out what's driving me to do so much. That's when I started, I keep saying this, which is, I'm unconsciously and consciously living my kinetic living philosophy, and I feel like the universe told me, Urmi, now you've maximized your physical quotient, it's time to move to awareness quotient. So for me, my journey has started over there, nice. I would say. And as a coach, I think the first time I started teaching kinetic living workouts in 2012, and just the ability to empower someone and make them feel strong in their body gives me so much joy that even up until now, whatever I've learned after fitness in self-awareness, energy coaching, meditation, is to supplement them and say, go back to your body.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So why the word kinetic living?
A very good question. So the word kinetic comes from my advertising mentor, who used to describe me as a kinetic individual. Because even when I was doing advertising, marketing, I was always jumping around the walls. I had so much energy. And of course, I used to work out, but that energy was also for the enthusiasm that what I was doing. I love writing as well. And he used to be like, Urmi, you're like all the time, so high energy. And then that was in 2007. And then in 2012, when I wanted to give a name to what my coaching was, I was very particular about one thing, is that I didn't want it to be just about me. So it was very clear I'm not going to use Urmi Kothari. Second thing I was clear about is it's not just fitness. Because the kind of confidence and empowerment I got through sports and through working out in my school, college, teen years, I was like, it has to be more than just fitness. And that's when the living came, because it's a way of life. And I'm sure now that you just told me before we started that you've gone through such a good journey of not just losing weight, but also finding different ways of respecting your body. I'm sure you can relate to that it changes the way you lead your life. And with respect to what the individual can take back from kinetic living is, when you start working with your body, you have the energy to convert your human potential into your whatever you want it to be. So the kinetic is your manifestation of what you want to create through that energy that you have.
You know, many people fail to realize on how the mind, body, physical, spiritual realms come and convolute together, right? For some people, it is too late when they realize. For some people, they realize it early, and some people, they are in midway of their life. Like
when
me.
You say too late, what do you mean?
Meaning they've abused the body so much and abused their spiritual, physical, mental, but that there's no point of recovery. I don't know if you have a thought there.
I mean, I would beg to differ that it's never too late.
Okay.
I mean, I believe.
That's okay.
Yeah, I believe that. But I would, what was your question? Yeah.
No, so I'm just saying that how do people, like, what I was trying to get at is, what is that turning point and is it too late also, right? To your question, right? Like, if somebody's at 70, or for somebody at 18 also, but it may be too late for them, right? The path they are on. But is it a better path to kind of saying, hey, no, can we look? And the reason why I'm asking this question, I was asked this question. When somebody is lost in life, Sunday I got asked, how do people come back, right? To kinetic living or kinetic living, right?
Yeah.
So how do people come back? And
that's a great question, first of all. So I would like to break this down into two. One is that the reason I believe that it's never too late is because everyone is on their journey of getting hit by realizations or getting nudged into growing a better version of themselves. And someone who has gone too far ahead, like you said, done all the unfavorable things for their body, mind, thought, emotion, and then they realize it. Yes, maybe the recovery time could be very long. And of course, because of the nature of the physical body, it is mortal. It has a certain expiration date, and it reacts in the surroundings, in the food that you eat, in a biochemical reaction. So I can say that yes, the recovery time could be longer, tougher, and they may have to make compromises. But at the same time, if it has struck them at that point in time, that in itself is a sign that there is potential there.
Yeah.
And then the strategy, the kind of workouts they would do, the kind of food they would eat would start on the basis of where they are in that present moment. So, and this is where I feel, and this is why the second aspect to your question, which I'm coming to that, which is when someone is really lost, the only reason they feel lost, and this is just my perspective, is that they feel that there is no return. That's why they feel lost. So, and if you see, it's a vicious cycle. Because I feel there is no return, I feel even more lost. So my motivation to even try is even lesser.
Yeah.
So now, maybe 5 years earlier, my answer would have been slightly different. But I would like to say a couple of steps, which is you can do it in different order or not. Is one aspect is really accept that you are lost, first of all. And I feel as a society, or as even in personal growth and productivity and learning is so high up, highly regarded, that unconsciously the feelings of feeling lost, unproductive, confused, a lot of people can try to push it away. And having done so much of shadow work and having done so much of subconscious reprogramming, the only way ahead is through the difficult emotions. So first is accept and face that you are lost. Then only you can change it.
But in that acceptance, sorry, I'm interrupting.
Acceptance doesn't mean agreement. So, and that's what I mean is that yes, I'm lost, but that doesn't mean that now I say that I'm lost and there is no coming back. I'm saying, okay, this is the current situation, but now I need to change it from that point of view. So acceptance doesn't mean agreement.
But acceptance, does it require a gradual process, or is it needs a root shock?
Good question. And I think that depends on the mental state of that person, how supported they are from their family, what kind of support systems they can afford, because we cannot forget the role of money and financial resources when it comes to growth. So I think that depends on these three factors. That's one. Second is to then find out what can really light them up on a daily basis. So something, as in energy coaching we call as inner resourcing, where it could simply be that I feel good with 10 minutes of sunlight, or I feel good when I listen to this one song. So idea is to find out something which has the least amount of effort, but that can put them in a space of feeling expanded.
Okay.
How can I feel good?
Yep.
Right? Without using screen or food. That you start doing that, and then that is a short-term process, and the long-term process then involves just putting one step after the other, and it starts with the body and some form of movement, because the brain and the body are related because of our nervous system. And this is where the fourth aspect is that when you focus on the brain, where the decisions are made, automatically you will start making better decisions day by day. So when you are lost, it's again like a hero's journey.
Yeah.
And I feel like it is a double-edged sword, that when we see heroes, we are seeing only the good parts. No one is seeing the uncomfortable emotions that they had to face, the training they had to go through, how many times they had to fall. So let's stop glorifying just that, and let's say that the real win is in that keeping one step after the next. And this I'm saying for a person who's lost.
Yeah.
A person who's already playing at a certain level field and wants to boost, it's a different kind of strategy. So yeah, I would say that.
And sorry, I had interrupted you. You were saying, okay, first is acceptance, then?
So acceptance, inner resourcing, putting yourself in even like I said, an expanded state where you are able to feel strong in even accepting the situation, because it's like maybe morning I'm feeling good and I've done something, and then afternoon it hits me again that, oh my God, this is what happened to me. So that's why the inner resourcing is very important. And like I said, the third is movement and breath. That is how you will start improving your nervous system. As you start improving your nervous system, you go from survival mode to coming into a homeostasis, relaxed state of mind. Then you can think more clearly. And for someone who is lost, their daily struggle is to just focus on what they are doing and staying present. So it's like 5 minutes a day for, let's say, 3 times in a day, like dose of medicine. You need to come back to the present moment.
Interesting.
Yeah, and in Joe Dispenza's words, I would say, not live a past present reality, live a present future reality. So where can I go from here? What let's say if I'm doing that 5 minute of movement, breathing and staying present, let's say, and I get on to finding a job or starting a new project or maybe mending a relationship, why am I doing it? That's when, because I'm hoping for a better future. So,
this is so interesting, and I've been learning. I'm a student of all these subjects. I would not say I'm an expert because I've been focusing on my health and mind and well-being, overall holistic well-being as it's called. But the larger question is, why is it becoming more prevalent today, right? Today, if I go to a gym or if I just walk down the streets today of Mumbai, see many people walking, jogging, running. And I also see a lot of people coming to sign up for these health retreats, wellness retreats. Why do you think that is changing now so much, not only in India but internationally? Why people are accepting that something like this is required?
Of course, COVID has been a huge reminder. That's one. Second is, and this is from a point of view of as a
you've been for 25 years, right? And you've not seen this kind of craze around health, mind, body, all of that when you started off.
Never, it was not even in to do it. Now fitness has become like a social status. And I had predicted this when I started Kinetic Live in 2012, saying that fitness is soon going to be a social status. And that's what is happening, yes. But I feel the motivation that people have is different.
Yeah.
Like, for example, there are some people, like at least myself I can include, I will not speak for anyone else, where fitness is a way of connecting with your mindset.
Yep.
I use fitness as a way to strengthen my mind and sharpen my body. But if you see popularly, it says you strengthen your body and sharpen your mind. But if I feel at this day and age, with so much of stimulus of mind, audiovisual stimulus, environmental stimulus, we are in the age of excess consumption, everything in terms of go.
Yeah.
I feel it's so important to strengthen the mind, and automatically you'll start doing things that will not just keep you lean and fit and fast, but also improve your neuromuscular coordination. Your reflexes will be much faster. The moment you enter a room, you know exactly what's going on in all directions. And that adds so much of presence in personal and professional, in boardrooms, in meetings, on stage. So this is where I feel is that the need is arising out of the need to perform better, the need to live longer, and on the mental health side, like I said. And the other side is because there is so much of media, there's so much of internet. Now an average person just holding a phone has become a content creator. So everyone wants to be seen.
Yeah.
And while that is amazing, and I also would like to be seen, this is where as a coach I question my students is that, why do you want to be seen? What makes you think that only when you lose weight you will be seen?
Yeah.
So this is where we say, hey, you still need to work out, but let's re-look at the energy with which you want to work out.
Yes.
Do you want to work out from I'm not enough, or do you want to work out from I love my body and I am taking care of it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like there is a split, and that will always be there. Yeah.
No, I'm smiling because you said something and it reminded me of myself. This podcast was all audio in the first 2 seasons. And the reason was I was shy of my own self, right? Because I was a big guy, I had didn't look the best and all of that. And I had a lot of self-doubt. I didn't respect and appreciated the body I am, right? But I had my own realization, hey, what am I trying to achieve out of this, right? Am I just... And I did a lot of fitness, crazy diets, fat diets, all of that.
Yeah.
And we'll come
Which
to those.
makes it worse, right?
Yeah, it makes it worse. And when you stop them, you flip back.
Yeah.
Right? So then I said, no, you know, I love my body, I love myself, and, you know, just show up, right? That's a different energy, and why not focus on
exactly.
But building on to what we were just talking and what you just said, there's so many people now claiming to be experts. You're also smiling, right?
Yeah.
And they're seen. Today's social media, like you said, I can start claiming I'm a fitness expert, right? I've lost X kgs. Okay, I can also help others,
that
right?
Was so,
So it's happening now, right? Now, today, like I was on a call, somebody was trying to say, hey, we are doing this program, we'll do this and that for you, and yada, yada, yada. Somebody like me, okay, who's informed, can say, okay, hold back, right?
Yeah.
I can't do so many things. But people are just buying into all of these messages. Now, how somebody who's just starting on this journey, how do they validate whether the person or the program is good
is
for
legit
them?
or not? Yeah.
And good for them also.
Yes.
Most important.
Yeah.
It can be legit, but may not be good for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, first of all, you don't have, this is something that before they even start, they need to know that you don't have to have it all figured out. And that will reduce a lot of pressure that they put on themselves, that this is now or never.
Yeah.
Right? And remember that this is a journey where the mistakes as well as the wins are considered as part of the experience, rather than my wins are the experience and the mistakes are like shame on me.
Yeah.
So A is you don't have to have it all figured out. And second is, so how do you start? Let's say you have some people that you have seen through research. When you connect with them, or if someone is connecting with you, if they are not asking you questions about what you want or where you are, then that's the first red flag. because if they are just trying to sell you what their product is, then that means they have not even considered what does this person want and how can I tweak my product according to their needs. And this is the first red flag, I would say. So please make sure they are asking you questions first. Third
footnote, look out for gym instructors.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, so many clients came to me and they were overweight and they're like, Urmi, your gym was the first one where I entered and I wasn't asked about weight loss, or it wasn't assumed that I was there to lose weight. And I was asked that what is your goal? And do you have injuries? And what is your fitness history? And we will go from there. So that's like that's what I meant. Footnote, that's why what most gym does. Arey, tumko to weight loss hi karna hai. And if you can lift better, they'll be like, arey, like let's go lift more. They don't have anything.
Like I've been lifting a little bit. Oh, every day you're doing lift training. Aapke coach ne aapko sikhaya nahi hai ki cardio bhi and all of those other things. I'm like, that person is trying to sell his own program. I was like, back off. Right? He's young. Now I can also, maybe I'm making a bad judgment, but then I started telling him, hey, you understand what kind of problems I have in my body? And I do. I have many. It's not one. Have you even understood that? No, please tell me what you have. Then when I started saying, he kind of went back, like he was scared to even talk to me then. Right?
Exactly.
Because it's like copy paste, right? It works for you.
That's what.
Let me replicate.
Exactly. And that's why they are not asking you questions, right? Because it's a cookie cutter approach. So like I said, that's the second thing, you want them to ask the questions. Then third is start small and do not try to work out every day. Work out 3 days a week. If you can afford, fourth should be a bonus. And not that one day you aim for 5 days and then the next week you're not doing at all. So aim for 3 days a week. Start with as little as 20 minutes. And so in my upcoming book on kinetic living, I have this body's hierarchy of needs, where the first foundation skills that you need to build for a long-lasting fitness journey are ability to breathe, brace your core, and mobility and core strength. Then in the second level is body weight strength and simple little bit of weights, and that is where it comes as slow jogging or any low impact, very mild intensity cardiovascular. So I'm not even introducing running right now, right? And this is where the mistakes happen. So if you're, and so then the third pillar is where we go into running. We go into some complex lifts, such as even deadlift. It's such a technical lift that a beginner first, if they're not taught squat, they will not know how to hinge properly. So, and drawing a little bit from functional training is try to work your body as a unit rather than isolating every single body part, because it's not like you first I did isolation and then suddenly expect yourself to do compound exercise, because like I said, the intramuscular coordination is only built when you work your body like that. So I have these layers of, and then the last is where I'm saying power. And the fifth layer is HIIT, endurance, running, Olympic lifting, clean jerks, all of that, because that requires such a neuromuscular coordination at a level, which if you're not connected with your body, forget trying to hold a neutral spine while trying to do such complex lifts. So it's like that. You go from unknown to unknown.
No, and this is what is happening today in this day and age, right? Like a lot of people who are fit, they're getting heart attacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Falling down, right?
And that is, sorry to cut you, but that is exactly why we can not only address fitness in isolation. If you are someone who's a fitness freak running, and I know so many incidences where an advertising guy was running on the treadmill and he fell and he got a heart attack and he was just 40. That's because his mental and emotional reserves would have been totally probably negative, which is what caused this. And I don't know if you know about this book called Biology of Belief, where he talks about the importance of environment and how it's affecting us at a cellular level. And you can't beat nervous system over muscles. So that's what happened.
Yeah, and it's happening to many folks, right? Unfortunately, like they may not be physically, mentally, spiritually ready to work on themselves, and they say, hey, run, right? And I have had experiences where I have had colleagues, friends who just stopped dead. They were the best, fittest people. Right?
Wow. Yeah. That's so, and that's
they ran a full marathon and they've come back and they've collapsed.
Yeah.
Right?
So this is where I urge you, if you're reading this, listening to this, or not reading, listening or watching this, let's redefine what is the idea of fitness. If fitness is not running a very good marathon but still feeling guilty after your holiday and say now it's time to go back and burn all those ice creams, why did you overeat those ice creams in the first place? Let's look at that, because you're still, inflammation is still happening in the body. Your body is still gonna go through a massive shock when you go from a big ass holiday where you've just probably eaten a lot, and then now you're going to starve it or suddenly eat lesser or push it suddenly. So yeah, you're right. And like, this is where we really need to bring in our emotional and mental fitness into our physical fitness. And the good news is, I'm a living example of it. The moment I started working out lesser post 2019, went from 6 days a workout to 4-day workout week, I started sleeping more than I used to. I started eating more than I used to. I dropped about 3 inches on my waist.
Wow.
And still I show people the before after and I tell them what do you think happened? And everyone was like, oh, you started like eating better. You started working out more. You started doing more cardio. I said none of it. Right? I started doing less. So I just want to say, the more we work on our mindset towards fitness and our emotional connect with our body, and also look at not escaping our uncomfortable emotions, we need to work out lesser.
Yeah.
And that means we have more time to learn, more time to do podcasts, more time to spend with our family, travel.
No, I'll just share an incident which happened with me. It's not linked to what you just said, but it kind of baffled me what happened. And I spoke to somebody and that person explained, I was like out for 2.5 months and I was working out, and I say working out basic, like twice a week or thrice a week, walking every day, trying to complete 10,000 steps, eating clean.
It's a myth, by the way, 10,000 steps. But
So eating clean, staying healthy, right, sleeping well, had built a schedule which is now hurting me when I'm back in India. But all of that, but my weight kind of for the last 3 weeks of my travel, it kind of plateaued.
Okay.
Whatever I did didn't happen. I was coming back home. I was so happy. And then I was at Istanbul airport. I was in the lounge and then I see baklavas, right? I ate a plate full of baklava.
Wow.
Okay. I was very guilty. Like, oh, what have I done? And it was my only meal of the day because I was intermittent fasting. So I said, okay, I'll have good meat, vegetables. And then I said, okay, I'll have a good plate. And that's the only meal. Come back home after a week. It's been a week. And I've been dropping kgs one after the other. I'm like, did that baklava help? Right? So the person told me, like, you were abstaining the body from that emotional connect. Okay?
Yeah, deprivation. Too much deprivation.
Right?
Yeah.
And your cells had kind of blocked itself, saying that he's starving us.
Yeah.
He's going to kill us. So let's go into a close.
Exactly.
Let's close our closet, right?
Yes.
But when I fed it, it kind of opened up. Aha, treats are in, right?
Yeah.
And then you work out back.
Let go,
Now, I don't know. That's my body. I just want to clarify. It may not happen to everybody.
Exactly.
Plate full of baklava is not recommended. But, these things, like you said, you're always work in progress.
Yeah.
You can't just say that this is by the book you have to follow, right?
Yes. And in fact, again, in the upcoming book, I've written this chapter which is called Belly Fat's Best Friends. And one of them is excessive calorie restriction, because when we restrict, let's say, for example, and like you said, you probably were eating in such a calorie deficit that your body had now needed a surge of calories to be able to break that plateau.
Yes.
And because when we do excessive calorie restriction, your cells go into survival mode. What happened? And then in a survival mode, it's not gonna lose any pound of fat, because evolutionary, when you were in a survival mode, means no food, no water, no consistent meat or food, which means the body is going to clamp down. And in your case, it was related to a food related starvation. And like you said, that probably you were in those 2 weeks when you were plateauing, you were probably like getting frustrated with your body, rather than it being, you know what, hey, what do you actually need?
Yeah.
And you probably unconsciously went and ate it anyway, and that sort of helped you. And this is probably you can take away from his story, and I would like to, if you can,
Sure.
if I can, which is, instead of talking to your body, you take permission from the body. And whenever you feel frustrated that your body is not supporting you, ask the body, what do you need? Because just the act of giving your body some space, and I know it can sound a little weird when I'm talking body as a separate entity, but the fact is that it is a separate entity.
It is.
And when we start building a relationship with it like your best friends, they will always support you. And that's what happened, right? Like, instead of saying, do this, fit me into that dress, run that 21-kilometer, climb those 100 steps, how about, hey, I would love to fit into that dress, will you help me? And in fact, and there is a really good book called Embodiment, and I would recommend everyone to read it, especially those who are also going through a lot of shyness in expressing their body, in their sexuality, or having trouble being intimate with people, because a lot of people who have poor self-image of their body also feel shy in their own sexual relationships.
Yes.
And that can create such a caged way of, again, look at my body, pinching it everywhere and say, in disgust.
Yeah.
Instead, let's create curiosity. What do you need? And let's go ahead and do it.
Yep.
And I have this one incident where I woke up, and it was before a social engagement, and I was like, I know I want to move. So I sat down on my bed just after waking up, and I asked him, like, what do you want? And the body literally said, I don't want to run, but I would like to move. And I opened my yoga mat, put on some really good chants, and literally it was 1 hour of meditative yoga and movement. And I came out so refreshed. So it's, again, this is what I meant by tough love. You don't have to go and sleep,
Yep.
but you have to do something that the body also wants.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, and you're so right. Like, we often, we may have aches. Like, yesterday, for the last 2 days, I had upper body training, and then I did my legs. I'm in pain, right?
Yeah.
And
Me too.
So my left arm has been paining, and it suddenly started, like, I couldn't even do this. It was paining here. So today when I woke up in the morning, I was supposed to go to the gym, and I said, and I wanted to do my arm training today, and I said, I don't want to go to the gym. The body said, no, right? You're not going, right? I said, can I go for a walk? Yeah, right? So I did go for a 30-minute walk, and I just did that. So now I'm like, okay, like you said, you need to listen to your body, because the body will then behave in a very different way.
And
right?
that will give you consistency, which everyone is running after.
Yeah.
So this is one thing that I really want to say, which is consistency is not a prerequisite to start your journey.
Yeah.
It's a function, or it's a manifestation of you doing it.
Yeah.
So when we start listening to our body, it's like we don't go into that all or nothing cycle.
Yes.
We still show up, but we show up with presence. We show up with consideration, and we still show up with being honest that, hey, body doesn't want to sleep and be a couch potato.
Yeah.
Body just wants a different intensity. And a lot of fitness freaks and fitness enthusiasts have this thing where, right, like, if I'm doing my workout, I have to kill it.
Yeah.
So that's the mind's, we call it the ego self coming and acting out.
Yeah.
Can we operate from a sense of higher self
when
it comes to our workouts?
You've been recommending a lot of books, but you also have a book coming out.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. So why did the book idea come about?
Again, this is such a, I feel like it's universe's blessing, because in 2020, September or August, I have written down in my diary that one of the things I would like to do is write a book on kinetic living. And in October 2020, I get an email from Bloomsbury that we would love for you to write a book on kinetic living, on fitness. And I was like, oh my God, right? And it just started from there. Then I we signed the contract in 2021. And it's been a journey of even knowing myself while writing this book, because I had to actually put aside my fitness routine, my coaching routine to an extent to make space for such a focused time to write the book. And that sort of made me see how much I valued and how much I put my self-worth in my own fitness or in my own coaching practice. So, and then the question comes is that what do you really want? So from a personal journey of writing that book, that is what happened. And in the book, I have really written down some of the original frameworks that I have used with my clients and which I then used on myself to even write the book.
Okay.
So it was literally like that. If I'm telling the client this is the way you can integrate fitness into your life, I was doing that same thing, but to integrate writing into my life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if I'm not following my own philosophy, then I don't deserve to write this book. So, like I said, there were so many moments of brilliant honesty, self-realization, self-reflection, and then acting on the basis of that I'm honestly actually quite proud of this book, because I have read this manuscript in the last 1 month almost 3 times, and every time I read, I'm like, yeah, that's right. Like, otherwise, the first time I read the book, I'm like, no, this is incorrect. I need to rewrite this. So I've done a lot of hard work on this book, and this book also has a lot of QR codes where you can actually have 10-minute routines to improve your posture. And I've spoken about what are the chunks or the chinks in your armor that could actually prevent you from going into lifelong fitness. What are the 21 B's of boosting your brain and body? Because we cannot remove our brain from our muscles, because the brain is the boss.
Monkey.
Exactly. So I would say mind is the monkey, and in fact brain is your superpower as well, apart from your heart. So in the book, I have categorically separated the mind and the brain, because the mind is the monkey, but when you start looking at the brain as an organ, you start to hone it. And that's where it will help you with consistency, mindset, motivation. All of them will come like this. And then I've written about, there's a section called 6 C's of change, where how people can use these 6 C's to bring in change, whether it is to go and start becoming fitter, or to change a eating habit, or to change a smoking habit, or to just change their social life to support their fitness, how they can use these 6 C's to make that change effectively and successfully.
Congratulations. It's a tall order task of writing a book. I can very well appreciate. I contributed to 2 chapters in 2 separate books, and I can tell you it was a Herculean task. So writing an entire book, and I'll definitely put in our show notes about the book. And you mentioned before the recording, the pre-order is already available on Amazon and most of the other premium platforms. So hopefully it's a bestseller soon, as soon as it comes out.
So yes.
Fingers crossed. What's the date?
18 November is the release date. And pre-order is only available on Amazon right now. And then it will be available on Flipkart, Amazon, Crossword, all the bookstores across India.
It's almost like giving a birth to a child.
And it was like literally
for 2 years you've been doing that,
and first given birth to kinetic living for 10 years, and then comes the book of it. So it's like, oh my God.
It almost feels that, and I can very well understand that. Now, you have a book, you have this entire way of living, which is kinetic living. You have your studio. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's in Goa?
So the physical space is right now in process, but I'm currently doing retreats in different places in India. And of course, we have the online studio that's working, and yeah, that's what we have.
Yeah, so you do these retreats. Let's talk about retreats a little bit, and they're called Climb. With
Yes,
a K.
yes, Climb with a K, which again is an acronym for kinetic life through intuition, movement, and breath.
Yeah.
Where movement and breath is such a big part of kinetic living as well. And the intuition piece has come because I'm going to share one big fact about my fitness life, which is for the longest time, 90% of my workouts are never planned before I go on to the workout gym, which means when I go, I am actually in the warm-up phase in itself. I decide what my workout is going to be like. And of course, being a coach helps because I know what movements I have done in the week, which is like, let's say I've done squat, I've done push, then I will do pull and hinge on that day. But what are the specific movements I'm going to do? It only comes after the warm-up. I sit down and I just write down my workout and then I start to do my workout.
Okay.
So that piece of fitness being seen as such a structured activity and me doing that for 25 years in such an intuitive way is something that I feel like I need to speak about, because I realized much later that not everyone does that.
Yeah.
So that is one. And that is why I feel like the intuition piece was so important when I started doing the retreats, because that's where my journey also happened post my burnout, and the self-work, really looking at my own fears, my insecurities, my patterns, and breaking them. I started also taking more intuitive decisions when it came to my work or my daily routines, which goes beyond just workouts. And then I am a complete traveler. I am an adventure lover.
Yeah.
And I really felt connected to nature post-COVID, those 2 years. So then again, announcing Climb came after LPA's adventures, my second time, 1 week after that. Mm-hmm. Where again, my intuition was like, is this the right time to announce it? Is this the right time to announce it? And in Feb 2022, I announced Shala with a K, which is the second brand. And underneath that, Climb Retreats is one of our programs. And it's all about combining nature, adventure, fitness, and a big part of it is the energy work that we do. So when I was speaking about the subconscious beliefs about fitness, I really addressed that in the retreats, but not just through talk therapy. It is a lot about going into the meditations. We do meditations such as higher self meditation, healing the inner critic, soul retrieval. We do nature, like imbibing the strengths from the elements kind of meditations, all combined with intentional journaling. So it's a 5-day retreat of complete immersion of the self, where the idea is to be at ease with yourself. And if you've connected with your body, then a lot of the social anxiety, a lot of the habits that people end up doing in order to fit in, which harm their body, that starts to chip away.
Nice.
And yeah.
No, being a holistic coach, I would call you that, not just a fitness coach. You've had moments where things have been really appreciated because your clients have seen transformations. So I would love to know if you have a story to talk about, one or two person who've seen that transformation, which you're really proud of. And everything may not be hunky-dory, right? There may be clients who've not seen anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They've gone through your program, but it may be their own inner self. Right? It's nothing to do with your program.
No, I of course know that. And in fact, you're right, because I was just thinking about which client hasn't gotten the result. I think the clients who haven't gotten the results are the clients who have not been able to show up for the sessions.
Okay.
And this is where, even as a coach, we need to accept that we cannot control our students' journey.
Yeah.
There have been clients, and I'll speak about 2 examples like you asked me, but in general, there have been clients who've come to me, seen a good amount of results, but then they have also said, okay, I am done and I would like to continue my journey on my own. And Okay, that's fine that. And then I have had clients who've been with me for 4 years,
Wow.
for 5 years. And as a kinetic living, because we also have coaches as well, even their students have stayed with them for 3 years, 4 years.
Wow.
So definitely they see what I've seen as we stand out is the learning curve, that they realize that they're not just learning fitness exercises, they're changing the way they're thinking about their food. They're changing, like I said, the beliefs around fitness. So they're changing the way they relate to their bodies. Their sense of enjoyment that they derive from their workouts has like shot up. Their sense of listening to their body, that, oh, my body's feeling slow today. Oh, I'm craving a workout today. Oh, I think I need to take it easy today and tell my coach to not push me today. They come and tell us now.
Nice.
And the first thing I tell them also in the journey is that the coaching is not about me. So I'm not going to hold you to a standard that I think you should do. I want you to set goals and I will hold you accountable for those goals. And then of course I will recommend that maybe you can push yourself more, or maybe this goal is too high. Let's break it down into smaller goals and then attack the shark like that. So that's how we approach. And we have this in this book, we have this, I have a section called kinetic markers, as to like, these are the markers you can use in order to say that, yeah, you're becoming of a more kinetic individual. But coming to the success story, so I'll take like when I used to do pure fitness coaching as well, I used to do this mindset coaching very unconsciously as a result of meeting my clients so regularly when we had a studio in Bombay. So all the clients, Rohan Joshi, who's the stand-up comedian, Sumukhi Suresh, again, who's a stand-up comedian, Kubra Seth, who's a model, actress, MC, she's like very versatile herself as well. So Rohan went from being like a couch potato to literally asking me for workouts even when he went on vacation. Right? He went from loving his pizzas and ice creams to making it a point to include his salads before he would even go for a pizza. This is all him also doing it by himself, even on holidays. And it's like, just want to let you know that even who's trying to get onto this journey, that there is no on and off switch.
Yeah.
So gradually he went in those 4 years from working out with me consistently to not working out in holidays. In the 3rd year, he was like, Urmi, I want workouts, and then also executing those workouts during his holidays, not just taking them. So, but remember that it's a gradual curve. Then, and he mastered, so him and I met because of, I'm a Nike coach as well. So I met him because Nike brought me to him. Okay. And then he continued his journey with me even after Nike was not part of the association. And Sumukhi went from, she came to me with a very bad ankle and she was also very overweight. So instead of directly going and attacking her weight, I first told her that you need to first build your body, good foundation in your body. So like I said, the body's hierarchy of needs, I took her through that pillar. And today, even if she's not doing fitness coaching with me because I'm not living in Bombay anymore, that has, even now people message me, and the book is filled with a lot of testimonials of people who are like, Urmi is the voice in my head when I'm working out. You know, Urmi is the voice in my head when I have perfect form. There's a model called Sarah Jane Dias.
Yeah.
She loves her workouts and she started training with me between 2016 and 2018. And till now, she's like, Urmi, everywhere I go, I'm complimented for my form. And no matter where I go, I know that my sense of understanding of form and technique came from you and came from another coach from Kinetic Living. So these are the kind of stories we've had. And with respect to the energy coaching, where I've helped people overcome drinking, binging, food binging, has been in the last 2 years, where people have now, they're like, Urmi, I don't feel like having it anymore. Even if I miss a workout, I'm not feeling guilty anymore. And all their indulgences are in control without even trying. And they've lost weight and they've become their lightest without even trying to lose weight.
Wow.
and their focus, their productivity has shot up. So yeah, these are the kind of changes people are experiencing.
No, more power to you. And as I said, for people who are listening in, you can't follow people blindly. So, and like what you've just given examples, whether with Rohan or with Sarah, I'm sure the process and the practices would have been very different to the state where they were.
Yes.
Their body, their mind,
Absolutely.
the physical, the spiritual, all of that.
Yeah.
And I'm not picking up on gym trainers today, but unfortunately that's the case, right?
Yeah.
And not only with gym, it's also with the nutritionist.
Yes, and I would, like you said, that those people who are still trying to have a myopic view of fitness or food, I would just say that they don't know better yet, and I hope that they will also, and this is where the need to put the, I would say, responsibility also in the consumer's hands to start asking questions.
Yes.
The moment you start asking questions about why are you asking me to do this exercise? Why are you asking me to eat a Mari biscuit just because it is under calorie restriction?
Yeah, the worst thing you will ever have. Sorry.
I know, but you're right. And this is something where even I have a problem where people are telling me, oh, I eat a Mari biscuit, but it is under my calorie count. And I'm like, it doesn't matter if it is under your calorie count or not. It's causing inflammation.
Yeah.
So, and my way of even which I've described in the book is that you create calorie deficit naturally, and there's a technique to it, which I've described in the book and which I also teach my clients. So I would say, let's empower through your podcast, through our channels, is urge consumers to ask more questions. Automatically, the people who are still staying limited in their exposure and knowledge will be exposed, and they will be forced to do better.
Yep.
Right? So I guess that's the only way. And I wanted to just say one thing, because you've said the spiritual energy quite a bit. I look at it this way, is that as you start developing and looking into your physical, your emotional, mental energies or patterns, and start breaking the unfavorable ones and start, like I said, being honest with yourself, I feel automatically it gives rise to you connecting with your spirit.
Yes.
So being great at something is not a requisite to become spiritual. I feel like it automatically happens as we start paying attention to our body, mind and heart, and then our consciousness, which is like I call it the observer, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now on that note, Urmi, this has been a fantastic conversation. I've learned a lot personally. Just on the ending note, and I'll take my own example because I'm a student, as I said, and through this meeting also, I'm learning a lot. If somebody like me has to start a program, right? Is it a 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or is it a journey for lifetime?
A very good question. Like I said, anything that's related to the self is always lifetime, but it's always important to break it down so that the monkey mind understands and is clear about certain things. That's also very important. So this kind of a journey, I tell my students minimum 3 months, and now some of the students have stayed with me for a year also. But every 3 months, it's like you are addressing a different goal. And that's how you address and become someone who is developing in different areas of your life without burning out, without feeling that you have to do so much. Because today maybe you are addressing your health and fitness as a focus. After 3 months, when you've reached a certain goal, then you will start maintaining it. Then you will have more energies to maybe address maybe doing something else. So that's how it works. So I would say that.
Thank you for sharing that tip. No, and thank you for taking time out and coming over. And
thank you for having me. Yes.
It's been a wonderful conversation, and I'll leave your contact details. When I say contact details, your Instagram, and people can reach out to you and be part of Climb or be part of Shala or buy your book as well.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.